Heavily bearded, once designated al-Qaeda terrorist, now interim Syrian President Ahmad al-Sharai is in the spotlight, likely for the right reasons, as he works to shift the group's global stance towards state-building and diplomatic outreach. Ahmed Hussein al-Sharaa leads Hayat Tahrir al-Sham, a group that originated from al-Qaeda. On November 10th, the Syrian President Ahmad al-Sharaa met with U.S. President Donald Trump at the White House. The visit was the first by a Syrian head of state to the White House since the country gained independence from French rule in the mid-20th century. Unlike Trump's other meetings with heads of state, this meeting with al-Sharaa was private, a very unlikely Trump meeting. Al-Sharaa used the discreet West Executive Avenue entrance to the White House, instead of the usual ceremonial driveway, for visiting dignitaries. The meeting was also conducted privately in the Oval Office on the same day and clearly indicated Washington's approach to Damascus after more than a decade of conflict, isolation on global platforms, and sanctions that ended with the removal of the Assad regime in December 2024. Al-Sharaa's visit to Washington came after the U.S. Treasury and UN moved to relax sanctions on Syria's new government. From Trump's Truth Social post and his adjectives for al-Sharaa during his press interaction, it's clear that the 2-hour private meeting went very well and was favorable for Syria and for what al-Sharaa envisions for Damascus's rise on the global stage. It appears that the meeting was not the first and definitely won't be the last. Speaking on Truth Social, Trump expressed that he is looking forward to meeting the Syrian president again and called it an honor to meet the former al-Qaeda leader. Seems like Trump is impressed with al-Sharaa as he hailed the Syrian head of state as a tough guy and strong leader. He also promised to do everything the U.S. can to make Syria successful. Earlier, on May 14, both leaders had met in Saudi Arabia during Gulf Cooperation Council talks. Post-meeting, al-Sharaa told Fox News that they discussed promoting foreign investment in Syria, particularly in major extractive industries. He said they talked about making Syria a place where the United States can have great investments, especially in gas extraction. According to reports, Syria will join the U.S.-led global coalition to defeat ISIS. Meanwhile, the U.S. will allow Syria to reopen its Washington embassy to boost cooperation on counterterrorism and development. While Syria called the talks friendly and constructive and noted U.S. support for reconstruction and stability. Watch what Trump said about al-Sharaa and the U.S.'s upcoming ventures with Syria.
Syria President, sir, could you update us on your meeting? Did you come to any agreements?
Say it?
With the leader of Syria you had earlier, did you come to any agreements today?
Well, I've had an agreement with him. He's a very strong leader. He comes from a very tough place, and he's a tough guy. I liked him. I get along with him, the new president of Syria. And we'll do everything we can to make Syria successful, because that's part of the Middle East. We have peace now in the Middle East, first time that anyone can remember that ever happening. As you know, Syria is a very big part of the Middle East, very important part. If you look back at Syria, for years they had the doctors, the lawyers, they had so many of the great intellects. It's an amazing place with great people, and we want to see Syria be successful along with the rest of the Middle East. So I have confidence that he'll be able to do the job, absolutely.
On Syria, can we expect an announcement on a pact between Syria and Israel, or an announcement on them joining the end to ISIS?
Yeah, you can expect some announcements on Syria. We want to see Syria become a country that's very successful, and I think this leader can do it. I really do. I think this leader can do it. And people said he's had a rough past. We've all had rough pasts, but he has had a rough past, and I think, frankly, if you didn't have a rough past, you wouldn't have a chance. He gets along very well with Turkey, with President Erdogan, who's a great leader. Erdogan's a great leader, and very much in favor of what's happening in Syria. We have to make Syria work. Syria is a big part of the Middle East. And I will tell you, I think it is working, and really well. We're working also with Israel on, getting along with Syria, getting along with everybody. and that's working amazingly. As you know, Hamas has given us back numerous bodies. It sounds pretty gruesome, but it's something the parents want more than if their son had been living. Hard to believe. I've seen all of the parents, so many of the parents, and getting back the body of their son, their dead son, is as vital to them, as important to them, as if the boy was generally the boy was alive. And as you know, over the last 4 or 5 days, we've gotten a lot of the additional bodies that they said they were going to. They've worked very hard to do that. So we have peace in the Middle East. It's a great thing, and nobody's ever seen anything quite like it.
After your meeting with the Syrian president today,
Switzerland,
Mr.
you posted
President.
last week about your talks with Switzerland. We're reporting that you're near a deal that would lower their rate.
With Switzerland?
Yeah.
We're working on a deal to get their tariffs a little bit lower because,
15% is what we're saying.
no, I haven't said any number, but we're going to be working on something to help Switzerland along. We hit Switzerland very hard. We want Switzerland to remain successful, and, you know, we're a part of Switzerland in the sense that they've been a very good ally. Yeah, we're working on them and some others, and we're working on others to increase them a little bit too.
How close is it to Switzerland?
Switzerland, what, do you have something to do with Switzerland? He wants to buy a nice watch. Right? He wants to buy a nice Rolex, right? We'll give Rolex some publicity because Rolex has been, they've been very nice, you know.
That's why.
Now, look, it's a beautiful country. It's a small country, but economically very big. So we're working on something.
After
Caitlin?
our meeting with the Syrian president earlier today, Marjorie Taylor Greene, who is a big ally of yours, said that she would rather see you focused on nonstop domestic policy meetings here at the White House instead of nonstop foreign policy meetings. What's your response to her saying that, and also saying that grocery prices are up and not down, as you've said?
Yeah, so I don't know what happened to Marjorie. She's a nice woman, but I don't know what happened. She's lost her way, I think. But I have to view the presidency as a worldwide situation, not locally. I mean, we could have a world that's on fire where wars come to our shores very easily if you had a bad president. We had a horrible president, and we ended up with Russia, Ukraine, and we ended up with other disasters, too. Don't forget, I put out 8 wars, 9 to come. I think I'll get the other one taken care of, but I put out 8 wars. And look at the damage that Russia, Ukraine has done to us as a country. I mean, we spent $350 billion. We're not spending any money anymore. Now they pay us through NATO. You know, I got NATO to go from 2% to 5%. Well, that's very important. When you're president, you really sort of have to watch over the world because you're going to be dragged into it. Otherwise, you're going to be dragged into a world war. I think if I weren't president, first of all, that war would have never happened if I was president. And if I weren't president, that war could have led to World War III. It won't. It's not going to anymore. But when I first got in, I said, wow, this situation could lead to World War III. And I got NATO together. I got everybody together. But with all of that, I passed a great, big, beautiful bill, which is the biggest tax cuts in the history of our country. So when somebody like Marjorie Taylor Greene, who's now catering to the other side, I don't know what, I guess she's, got some kind of an act going, but I'm surprised at her. But when somebody like Marjorie goes over and starts making statements like that, it shows she doesn't know. I don't devote a lot of my time